The British Empire wasn't built on tea and trade. It was built on Irish land, Irish bodies, and Irish resources stolen for 700 years, and Britain got so rich from Ireland that they invented an entire famine to keep the money flowing. Think the British Empire's wealth came from India and Africa? Because before Britain colonized the world, they perfected the blueprint for exploitation right next door in Ireland, and what they extracted funded every ship, every army, and every colonial conquest that followed. Here's what they've erased. Starting in the 1100s, the English crown began seizing Irish land through plantations, forcing Irish Catholics off their ancestral land and giving it to English and Scottish Protestant settlers. By the 1700s, Irish Catholics owned less than 5% of Ireland despite being 80% of the population. The rest was owned by British landlords who lived in England and never set foot in Ireland. But here's the theft nobody talks about. Those absentee British landlords extracted massive rents from Irish tenant farmers, shipping the profits back to England. Irish farmers worked land their ancestors had owned for centuries, paid rent to English lords, and were left with barely enough to survive. Meanwhile, Ireland was producing enough food to feed its entire population twice over, but 95% of it was being exported to England under armed guard. During the so-called Great Famine of 1845-1852, when the potato blight destroyed the peasant food supply, Ireland was still exporting shiploads of wheat, oats, barley, beef, pork, and butter to England every single day. British soldiers guarded the food convoys while 1 million Irish people starved to death in ditches. This wasn't a famine, it was forced starvation to protect British landlord profits. Here's the scale of theft. In the 1800s alone, Britain extracted an estimated $1.8 billion from Ireland, equivalent to over $200 billion today. That wealth built British factories, funded the Royal Navy, paid for colonial wars in India and Africa, and turned London into the richest city on earth. Irish labor also built the empire. Irishmen dug England's canals, laid railroad tracks, worked in factories for starvation wages, and died in British colonial wars. Irish women became domestic servants in English homes, sending wages back to starving families. And when the Irish resisted, Britain crushed them with military force, stole more land, and passed penal laws that banned Catholics from owning property, voting, or practicing their religion, legalizing poverty, and ensuring wealth flowed only one direction, from Ireland to England. Follow for more proof that British civilization was built on theft, starvation, and 7 centuries.